Welcome to this deep dive on AI Brief, number 456. We have got a packed board of today's main points for you. We're going to be covering OpenAI shockingly dropping Sora for a secret project called Spud, the massive new Hark hardware startup, Apple's major Ask Siri overhaul, and, this giant shift toward agentic workflows across the whole industry.
Yeah, it is. It's really an entirely new landscape out there right now.
For sure. So let's just get right into today's new updates. The era of the AI side quest is, well, it's officially over. And to really understand what's going on, we have to look at the biggest player making the most unexpected cut. OpenAI is officially winding down Sora.
Which is just wild, right? I mean, especially when you consider the momentum that thing had.
Exactly. Like this was a video generator that hit #1 on the App Store. People were obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And they're just killing it to free up compute power for this mysterious incoming model that they're calling Spud.
Yeah, and inside the company, employees were apparently calling Sora a drag on resources.
Wow. And this move even puts OpenAI's huge December partnership and that $1 billion investment from Disney completely on ice. Disney had agreed to let their IP be used specifically in Sora.
That is a massive bridge to burn.
Right, so I have to ask, isn't it incredibly risky to abandon a consumer darling like Sora, burn a billion-dollar bridge with Disney just for an unproven model like Spud?
Well, what's fascinating here is just the brutal economics of compute. It's a zero-sum game right now.
What do you mean by that?
So there's a finite amount of processing power like those advanced GPUs available in the world. Every single GPU cycle spent generating, a highly realistic video of a cartoon mouse is a cycle that isn't being spent training the next generation of reasoning models.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, OpenAI isn't operating in a vacuum. They're locked in this fierce existential enterprise battle with competitors like Anthropic.
So basically making movies is just a distraction from the real war.
Precisely. The ultimate goal isn't Hollywood. According to Sam Altman, this new Spud model is expected in the coming weeks, and its explicit design is to, quote, really accelerate the economy.
Accelerate the economy. So I'm not just making neat content.
Right. Video generation doesn't really accelerate the underlying economy, but automating complex tasks absolutely does. Look at the leadership shifts happening inside OpenAI right now. Bill Peebles, the head of Sora, is pivoting his whole team to world simulation for robotics.
Wait, world simulation, how is that different from what Sora was already doing? Wasn't it simulating a video world?
It's a huge difference, actually. Sora was just predicting pixels. It knew what a shadow should look like based on other images of shadows. But world simulation for robotics means the AI actually understands physics, gravity, spatial awareness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they want the AI to understand the physical world, not just draw a picture of it. We're also seeing Fiji Simo's division being renamed to AGI deployment. They are just streamlining the entire organizational chart to focus on this singular objective of economic automation.
Okay, but if we're talking about automating the physical economy, that requires a physical interface, right? You can't automate the real world entirely through a browser window on your laptop.
Exactly. You need hardware.
Which brings us to the next segment. Let's take a step back, slow down for a second, and look at everything else in AI today, starting with this massive hardware race. Brett Adcock, the founder of Figure AI, just emerged from stealth to launch a new startup called Hark.
And he is not messing around with this one.
No, he is not. He's putting $100 million of his own personal money into this venture.
A $100 million personal check is, well, it signals profound conviction. But it's also incredibly risky because the AI device space has been historically cursed.
Like the Humane AI Pin or the Rabbit R1.
Exactly. Those launched last year and immediately struggled with latency, poor battery life. They just ended up feeling like glorified Bluetooth speakers routing your voice to ChatGPT.
Right, so why should we believe Hark is going to be any different?
You really have to look at Adcock's background. At Figure AI, he was dealing directly with humanoid robotics. He understands how machines interact with the messy, unpredictable physical world. Hark is explicitly targeting a new interface to AGI.
Like devices that learn to think like you.
Yeah, devices for the individual and the home that anticipate your needs. And he has poached major talent from Apple, Google, Meta, including Abhijit Chowdhury, the lead designer behind the iPhone Air.
That is some serious firepower. And they already secured thousands of NVIDIA B200 GPUs arriving in April, aiming for a summer software launch.
Securing those B200s is a massive flex. Those are the absolute bleeding edge of processing power. Adcock seems to get that relying on traditional smartphones might actually bottleneck the deployment of AGI.
Because phones are fundamentally reactive. They just sit in your pocket until you tap a button.
Right, which is friction. And AGI needs persistent context to be useful, and always-on awareness of your environment and habits. Hark is positioning itself as that physical bridge, right as rumors are swirling that OpenAI is developing its own dedicated device.
It's a bold bet, but, billions of people already have an iPhone in their pocket. If AGI is going to be our new digital coworker, Apple isn't just going to roll over.
No, they are facing an existential threat, and they know it.
According to Mark Gurman, Apple is debuting a standalone Siri app and an Ask Siri chatbot experience for iOS 27 and macOS 27 this June. And it allows typed or spoken requests, reading across your iMessages, emails, and notes to build deep context.
And that context is everything. The new Siri is designed to execute actions directly inside third-party apps. They're moving away from rigid voice commands to fluid conversation, and it's reportedly going to be Gemini-powered.
Okay, but playing devil's advocate here, Apple Intelligence had a really lackluster reception last year. Can Apple actually catch up with Gemini inside Siri, or are you and I just going to default to the ChatGPT or Claude apps?
This is make or break for Apple's ecosystem. If Ask Siri can't, say, read an email from your boss, check your calendar, and open Uber to book a ride without you touching the screen, Apple loses its grip on the interface.
They just become a dumb screen.
Exactly. They risk surrendering the primary interaction layer to third-party models.
So we've got Spud models, Hark hardware, iOS 27, but what is AI actually doing for the economy right this second? We are seeing a massive, quiet shift toward agentic workflows. Microsoft just poached Ali Farhadi from the Allen Institute for their superintelligence team.
And look at Roche, the pharmaceutical giant. They just launched an AI factory for drug discovery with 3,500 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs.
3,500 GPUs just for pharma research.
Right. They aren't using AI to draft emails. They're simulating complex biology to compress decades of physical lab work into months of digital simulation.
And the OAI Foundation just committed $1 billion to research disease and other massive challenges. The infrastructure being laid down for these agents is wild. Figma is opening its canvas to coding agents like Claude Code.
And Cloudflare just launched Dynamic Workers, which is a secure, isolated sandbox. It lets an AI agent write, test, and run code at 100 times the speed without crashing a company's main server.
And startups are capitalizing on this plumbing. Moda raised $7.5 million for a platform where a trio of agents creates the first draft of marketing assets. And Link raised $27 million for an API that lets you text your AI via iMessage or FaceTime.
It turns an AI agent into just another contact in your phone. You're no longer chatting with an AI, you are managing a digital workforce.
It's a total vibe shift. So how can you, the listener, actually use this stuff today? Let's jump into today's trending AI tools.
The big theme here is that AI is embedding itself into the tools you already use. We mentioned Figma's new bridge for agentic design on the canvas and Cloudflare's Dynamic Workers for developers.
Another massive one is Claude Code's new auto mode. It's a hands-free coding system. The AI has the autonomy to write code, execute tests, fix its own errors, and just keep moving without asking for manual approval on every single line.
Oh wow, that saves so much time.
Right. But if you're not a developer, check out a tool called tldrr. That's tldrr day. You save any URL to it, and the AI automatically summarizes, tags, and organizes the content. It is perfect for taming a chaotic bookmark folder.
For creators, there's ImageToVideo, which transforms static images into cinematic videos. And if you need a full suite, Flyne is an all-in-one AI creator for both images and videos.
And finally, for anyone testing software infrastructure, there's Octrafic. You can test your APIs in plain English straight from the terminal. No more complex test scripts. You just tell it what to do, and Octrafic handles it.
Synthesizing all of this, the trajectory is moving so fast. Companies are shedding side quests. From OpenAI pivoting to the economy-accelerating Spud model to Apple and Hark fighting over the physical interface layer, the entire industry is building the foundation for autonomous agents.
Which leaves you with one final thought to mull over. If models are becoming the new operating systems and agents are doing the heavy lifting in coding and design, what happens to human taste? In a world where Moda's agents design your slides and Claude writes your code, maybe your most valuable professional skill won't be execution anymore. As the cost of execution drops to zero, your ultimate value will just be knowing what looks, feels, and functions correctly.
That is a really profound shift to think about.
It really is. Keep questioning those assumptions, folks. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Please follow and share the podcast. See you in the next episode.